The criminal charges facing the former president could have a major impact on all of next year's elections. Republican leaders here are saying that a criminal trial at the top of the ticket is probably not going to help Republican candidates.
And WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie has their reactions today.
We could be facing the unprecedented prospect of a major party's presidential candidate being criminally tried during campaign season. I asked some of the state's top elected Republicans what that might mean for the 2024 elections. House Speaker Tim Moore says he doesn't know enough about the indictment to comment on it in detail.
Certainly the president, former president's entitled to a presumption of innocence like anyone else should be, and I do think there's politics involved in it.
Senate Leader Phil Berger says he hasn't read much about the latest charges.
It seems as though he doesn't get the same treatment that other folks that may or may not have been engaged in similar activity. That's at least the perception that I have.
Former President Trump continues to lead the GOP primary polls, and the latest indictment is not expected to change that. Both Berger and Moore say they'll support the nominee, even if it's Trump. But they agree the prospect of his criminal trial happening during campaign season is not likely to help the Republican ticket next November.
I think from what I've seen, every time he gets indicted, it strengthens him within the party. And arguably it makes it more difficult for him to actually win.
It would clearly be better if that were not the case, if he were not under indictment. But I don't know what's going to happen, and ultimately I don't know what our party will do in terms of who our nominee will be.
And neither Moore nor Berger has endorsed anyone yet in the GOP presidential primary. The state's other top elected Republican, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, did endorse Trump in June. His campaign declined to comment on whether he still stands by that. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
By the way, in terms of state politics, Moore and Berger also said today they are still on track to have a state budget passed by the end of this month. Matt?
Yeah, here in the Live Center, we continue to track the motorcade now of former President Trump. This is inside the motorcade, a view as that motorcade with the former president heads to Reagan National Airport. They're on the George Washington Parkway here, just minutes away from the airport, where we expect the former president will speak. Now, when he got there, he had nothing to say as he got to the airport earlier, arriving here for those 4 charges that he faces, those 4 federal charges. This is a live look outside the courthouse. We continue to wait to see if we'll hear from any of the attorneys involved in this case, as well as they leave from the courthouse there. We're very busy here in the Live Center, of course, as we continue to follow all of this. On your News at 5, we'll bring you any live updates as the former President Donald Trump, indicted again, heading to the airports.